I'm Dana.
I'm Elena.
And we're going to Satancon.
Satancon.
There's been a lot of attention on this convention.
Yeah, I heard it's the largest gathering of Satanists to date. It's really got some people upset, and I think there could be some misconceptions around it.
Also, there's a lot of presenters that are talking about like agency and body autonomy.
Yeah, and as we try to continue this conversation about reproductive rights, trans rights, I think it's really important to see what this group is doing to kind of continue the conversation.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah, we're ready to go. We're trying to figure out what this event means to people and like the significance. And I just find it so funny that all of the counter protesters, there's no one from Massachusetts out there.
No one cares.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. They have to fly it in.
Yeah. I'm curious about some of the like more far-fetched questions you've gotten as a Satanist from folks who don't know about.
They're largely very predictable. You know, they've watched some Hollywood horror flicks and assume that we, eat children or abuse animals or things like that. So, an enormous number of our members are vegan or vegetarian, and a lot of them have said that they're inspired to be that because of our tenets on bodily autonomy, empathy and compassion, and scientific reasoning. The things that people say about us are just what things they want people to believe about us, because that's a lot easier to do than actually engage with the nuance of learning what we actually are and what we believe and why we do the things we do. We got a marketplace. We've got speakers, we've got panel discussions, people who've known each other sometimes for a decade and have never met are getting to meet each other and spend time together or reconnect after years of not seeing each other, and that's all it is.
Dex pointed us towards Shalise Blythe. She's one of the longest serving members of the temple.
And I'm also the spokesperson for the Religious Reproductive Rights Campaign.
Fabulous, and I would love to talk to you more about that.
The ultimate goal of the Religious Reproductive Rights Campaign is to preserve our religious rights to our reproductive health, reproductive justice, and making sure that we're constantly pursuing reproductive justice under the rights and protections we have as religious people, because when it comes to things like bodily autonomy and basing our understanding of the world on the best scientific evidence available, those are all steeped in our deeply held beliefs, and those are the center of why we feel it is so important for us to be able to make determinations of our own bodies, which predominantly right now has to do with reproductive freedom. These laws are not being based on medical necessity. They're not based off of science or fact. They are not based off of any protection to anything that is going wrong with how medical practice is happening. And it's not protecting people, it is killing people. And it is preventing us from being able to make decisions about our own bodies, and that violates our religious tenets.
And with that thought, there was a presentation that caught my attention, Reclaiming the Trans Body.
Euphoria goes hand in hand with exhaustion as we make our way through a world that does not make one part of the journey of transition easy or trouble-free.
We're going through a moment of panics right now, whether it's panicking over trans rights or panicking over abortion. It's like this huge attempt to scapegoat people who are perceived as less powerful. And I think that's what we have to push against. We have a right to our own bodies, and that's really all we're seeking, is to be able to get the care that we need. And there's just these huge forces sort of arrayed against us, and we need to make our voices heard in whatever way that we can.
I really appreciated your speech.
Oh, thank you.
I just wanted to ask. Well, I am a non-binary person. I'm pretty fortunate to live in a state where transgender care has not been stripped away from folks.
Are you meeting folks that you had known previously and never gotten to meet in real life, or is this like a...
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm in recovery. I'm a member of TSG's Sober Faction. There are a lot of folks here who I've only seen on screens, because we have folks from all around the country, all around the world. And so just getting everyone in one place and being able to actually meet each other and hug each other and share space. I'm gonna get unbaptized today, and I was baptized twice actually. Because we changed churches when I was young, and I was baptized again, and it's just kind of a thing that's I didn't really have a choice in the matter. It was a thing that I had to do, and it was a thing that I was, to my mind, I was too young to consent to do, because I didn't really fully have an understanding of it, especially given that I was told basically a framework for reality for my entire childhood, And so this is a chance for me to get rid of that and, take my power back and consent to how I want to exist in the world. Hail Satan.
We do get a lot of church survivors with the Satanic Temple, people that have been abused in one way or the other. And they come up to me and they're like, my mom and my dad would have never allowed me to go to after school Satan Club, but just knowing that you were there and that there's an option and that there's other beliefs out there would have meant so much to me. At the end of the day, we're all about religious pluralism and all the, protesters outside. And I'm like, this is the beauty of living in this country, that you guys get to do that. And then what we're doing in here is protecting that so that everybody can believe the way that they'd like to believe. There's a bunch of different evangelical organizations that are popping up all over. After School Satan Club takes advantage of the same Supreme Court ruling that they do, and it's from 2001. And basically the Supreme Court said that once you open up your limited public forum to third-party organizations, you cannot discriminate against religious organizations, viewpoint discrimination. So they have that door in, and then we have that door in. So if they're there, they can't say no to us, but they try really, really hard.
Is that the catalyst for going into a school, is that they have a good news club?
So yep, and we have to be requested to come in. My first grader came home one day and he was upset, and it was friends of his, not the bullies of the class. Mom, if we don't start going to church and we don't accept Jesus, we're going to burn in hell and they're going to take me away from you. And I knew about the Good News Club, but I didn't know about the Good News Club.
So what are some of the things that these, is it K through 5?
Yep, it's K through 5. The volunteers each bring something unique to the club. We, had an after school Satan Club volunteer who's like, my neighbor's a zookeeper. Can we bring some skunks in? And I'm like, hell yeah, that's awesome. And then if you see this was our back to school night, and these are some of the activities that we do. But with the Hail program, they just had somebody bring in all their spiders and lizards. Who? Erica. Yeah, Erica brought in all this. So Susanna runs Hail, which is our pilot program for release time religious instruction. Okay. That actually takes place during the day. Wow. Yeah, it's a whole new level of whoa. The school that her kids are at, the kids get to leave once a week in the middle of the school day. They're picked up by the Bible Club bus, taken down the street for Bible instruction, and then brought back. So for the parents that are like, I'm not a Christian, I don't agree, my kids are left behind. These kids are left behind with the teachers just kind of twiddling their thumbs. So I was like, well, let's pilot it. Let's do it. Let's launch the program. And she picks up the kids. They go to the library down the street, and they have a little room that they've reserved, and they do basically the same activities After School Satan Club does. And then they get driven back, and they're all unloading at the same time as the Bible Club. And yeah, so we hope to expand that program.
What does it mean to be here at Satancon this weekend?
As a congregation member and being here with my church family, every time I see them, my heart lights up and we give each other hugs, because I was raised secular, so I didn't understand having that community, so I got my Colorado congregation family here, so there's that whole thing that we get to do all this together. And that's why we understand other religions too, and their community, how important it is, right? Because no matter where you go, you have your people.
So what did we learn?
They explore and celebrate their identities
and feel a deep spiritual connection with their bodily autonomy.
Satanists here are just people looking for a community.
Isn't that what we all want?
And if you're not a part of our YouTube community yet, don't forget to like and subscribe.
You came out here from Chicago for this specific event?
Yes. We're all of us that are holding these kind of signs right here. We're not a group. We are all from different areas. One's from Texas, Oklahoma, California, New York, and that kind of thing. So we're all from None.